Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different from what I usually do. This is Aethos. It's a hard demon platformer by Incidius that is the current hardest platformer I've ever beaten. Because platformer levels are so fundamentally different from traditional side-scroller levels, I decided to do something different for the completion video. I'm going to be splitting this level up into 3 chunks, each covering 5 stages of the level. After each chunk, I'll say my thoughts on each part of the level. I would also like to shout out my friend TC Boots Gaming for helping me out with some of the earlier stages of the level that I had no idea how to pass. They're simple now, but they were really, really difficult to figure out in the beginning. So let's start with the first chunk.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I need to say a whole lot about this chunk of the level. It's simple, but a very effective beginning. There wasn't really anything super special or noteworthy about this, but it was pretty fun. The introduction of the bouncy purple shapes was done incredibly well, even though it took ages for me to parse it at first, and while the angled bouncy purple shapes are a little bit hard to understand at first, you get used to it very, very quickly. Anyway, on to the next chunk.
Nice.
This chunk of the level was definitely good at ramping up the difficulty, but I found myself not enjoying it as much as time went on, especially stage 8. While it's the only stage with no spikes, it's also the only stage where there's absolutely no clear-cut path to the next one. My first practice run was about 24 minutes, and this stage by itself took up a fifth of that total time. Stages 6, 7, and 9 do an excellent job of introducing the ice mechanic though, and I find that those are the most fun stages of the level thus far. Slipperiness can be done well. Finally, stage 10 introduces the wall jumping mechanic, and while this mechanic is very simple to grasp and execute for experienced player, it was extremely tricky to actually learn for the first time, and that definitely affected my enjoyment of this chunk of the level. It doesn't help that the jumps one has to do to actually exit the stage aren't exactly super smooth either. Also, the planet in the background is amazing.
Alright, let's do this.
These stages are extremely interesting. I see them as somewhat of the final boss stages of the level, testing the player on every ability and pushing those abilities to as hard as they will go. Unfortunately, that also meant that I did not have a good time at all with this chunk of the level. Stage 11 was absolutely the worst part of the entire level for me, just because of how awkward the jumps to the angled purple bouncy thing were. And yes, I'm continuing to call those by that name. Stage 12 wasn't too bad, but getting the timing right to latch onto the wall bouncers was a bit frustrating at first. Eventually, though, I did manage to figure it out. Stage 13, well, I was really tired by this point, and that led to a lot of deaths at the left wall during practice mode. Plus, I hadn't entirely figured out the wall bounce mechanic yet. I'm also extremely lucky to have fluked the last jump before the end of the stage. Now, if you graduated first grade, you're able to do math, and you've probably noticed that there were only 3 stages in this chunk of the level, and that's because the final 2 stages, stages 14 and 15, are, well, I'll let you see for yourself. Yeah, this part of the stage is basically just a giant recreation of the Minecraft dropper map from like 2013, and it is extremely brutal. When I was first practicing this, legitimately had no idea how I would ever do this part start to finish in one go, and somehow I managed. But unfortunately, there's still stage 15, and that is somehow even worse.
Yes. Yes. Oh. Wow. Exactly, Geometry Dash. This is why I have no friends. Oh, that's actually like the perfect one, too.
So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the sort of different format I used for the platformer level. I really love Aethos at the end of the day, and I would absolutely recommend it to basically everybody who's looking to get into hard platformers. Although I do think this is one of the, I think this is pretty difficult for a hard demon, so if you're not great at platformers, I'd maybe hold off on completing it until you can successfully do the lower end ones. But yeah, so for now, this is my current hardest platformer. I'm hoping that changes soon. I'm working on a level called Switchscapes, which is basically, it's a very hard, insane demon platformer that basically makes Aethos look like a walk in the park in comparison. So yeah, I also recently completed Cataclysm off stream because I didn't think I would get a lot of stream highlights because of how fast I would beat it, and I was correct in that assumption because the file is like 20 minutes long or something. So yeah, so I'll see you guys in a few days for my next project, and believe it or not, I'm gonna be beating Bloodbath. I know, insane. So yeah, I think that's everything. I'm gonna head out now. So see you guys later. Bye.